Hi, I'm Dana, and a little while ago I started a series about autistic emotions because I do feel like part of being autistic, and for a lot of people just part of being neurodivergent as a larger umbrella term, we do tend to feel things not necessarily differently, but I feel like I struggle to process emotions in the same way, and as such when I finally do understand what I'm feeling, it feels like a much bigger and stronger emotion than I feel like it is for other people. If that makes sense. I don't like saying I have bigger emotions than others because it just feels a lot like discrediting other people's feelings. I don't want to do that. I think everybody feels things in lots of big ways, you know? I just think that the extra processing time that it takes for me as an autistic person and all of the extra bits that go into it as an autistic person mean that I feel and experience them a little bit differently. And that's what I want to talk about in these videos. So each video is a different emotion. I'll link past one up here, and today's I want to focus on autistic joy because it's one of the things I could fucking do a little bit right now, to be honest with you, and it's also by far the most pleasant part of being autistic for me. We're gonna get straight into it because by far one of my favourite things about being autistic, and there aren't very fucking many to be honest with you, is that I do feel like I can derive joy, and a really big amount of joy from things that to a lot of other people aren't a big deal, you know? Things like a little while ago Scoop came out, the movie on Netflix, and it's a bit of a grim watch because it is about Prince Andrew and obviously he's awful and I'm down with the monarchy, but it also had my 3 absolute all-time favourite actresses in it, and it's the kind of thing where yeah, anyone's going to be excited and happy when their favourite actors join up in something. I'm not claiming that as an autism only thing, but I do think that it's such a unique vibe when it's I have one person out of each of my special interests and they've just walked into a fucking room together, and I was literally crying with joy over watching these 3 women walk into a room together because it's just the best. It tickles my brain in such a way where that's the thing, is I feel like things like that can bring me the same extreme amount of joy as things that will do, you know? I went to America not all that long ago, and that's already just incredible, but I also got to experience lots of things. I got to go to the Santa Monica Pier, and walking down Venice and Muscle Beach to get to Santa Monica Pier, I haven't felt a joy like that in my entire life, I don't think. So many things that we experienced and did in America, I was this is the best thing that's ever happened to me. It's such an overwhelming feeling of joy. It's absolutely incredible. And obviously, logically, I can recognise getting to go to a new country with my best friend and experience things and see things that I've always wanted to experience and see. Yeah, I see why it would elicit this big reaction of joy. But I also feel like it was the same level, the same actual feeling of joy as when I find a new thing with my favourite actor, and when I find a new actor I really like, when my favourite actors join up in things, when I get to just indulge in my special interests without any sort of shame or embarrassment or being perceived in any way, you know, when I can just isolate and have my thing. I do feel like it's a really similar level of joy. And I do also think that another thing that plays into it is sort of the more daily moments of joy is when I do small things, if I go for a coffee with a friend, if I go to a new little club, if I pop off to a museum, you know, just very small daily things that you do regularly, just going for a walk with a friend, having a friend over to watch a movie, all those types of things. Obviously, they're all things that everybody enjoys, they're nice things to do, they bring everyone some level of joy. But especially coming from someone who, you know, growing up, I didn't really have particularly good or close friendships. They often ended very badly. I was often alone and very isolated and picked on and bullied. I had a lot of really not great times. And then I also had an 8-year-long abusive relationship where I didn't really have anyone outside of my abuser. So it is one of those things where, based on the fact that I'm autistic and my past experiences, I do think that small and nice things that happen that would bring anybody some level of joy do bring me an extremely much. I'm not doing great with words in this video, but I feel you can get the concept of what I'm talking about. I just feel I feel so much more joyful and grateful and relieved and glad that it's happened than a lot of other people would. And I do think so much of that goes due to my past experiences more so than being autistic. But I do also think that, you know, I would feel that way anyway as an autistic person. The feeling that I get when I actually am able to connect with people and unmask around people and talk to people and build friendships and have people in my life, it brings me so much joy, and I'm so glad to have those people and so joyful to have them around. And it's the kind of thing where just doing anything around those people feels good, and I enjoy it, and it's beautiful and it's so nice. And I do feel that's one of like I said, it is the best part probably of being autistic for me, is that as much as so much of everything is overwhelming and it's a struggle and it's really difficult to just get up and do things and exist as a person, when I manage to do that and the slightest good thing happens, I derive so much joy from it. But as with a lot of things, and I don't know if this is like really an I mean, I do think that I do it because I'm autistic, but I don't think it's like every autistic person does this thing, which goes for literally everything, but I do feel like it's perhaps something I do that's less common in the community, which is that I feel like I'm often quite a subdued person, you know? Like, I've learnt to do smiles and laughter and put inflection in my voice, and like, it's a mask, and I don't entirely know how to drop it, to be honest with you. I have the times when I'm really overwhelmed and really struggling and my voice just does go monotone and everyone's like, why do you sound so pissed off? And I'm like, because I'm not masking and putting on the joyous, happy, bubbly, blah, 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 you know? Like, in a lot of ways, I do feel like I'm able to mask to a point of sort of being perceived as like a normal person, but I also like massively struggle. So I'm already putting so much effort into just like my base level how I'm going to be perceived. So for me, I know that there are some times that my joy, like, and my happiness or whatever does really come across, because like when again, I'm sorry, it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. When we went to America, we got to we flew from Manchester to Ireland and then Ireland to LA, and a lot of it was in the dark and we didn't have a window seat, so I didn't get to see all that much. And I have been on flights before, but like only Europe ones, you know, like no big flights. So when we then flew from LA to Arizona, I had a window seat and I could see outside and it was daytime, and it was my first time ever seeing the fucking desert, and I was just like, I took all sorts with me to like entertain myself on the flight so I didn't get too anxious and like just generally overwhelmed. Like, I was really worried about it, and I ended up spending like the entire flight with my face just glued to the window because I could see the desert. Like, it was so beautiful and so crazy, and like, I've never seen a fucking desert before, and I didn't think I was fucking going to be honest with you. And like, getting to see all like the different colours and where like some bits had plants and where like there'd be an occasional river, like it was just the coolest fucking experience. I mean, maybe not the coolest, but like the whole trip was the coolest experience of my life. And it's the kind of thing where like I kept looking around at other people on the plane and like no one else was fucking excited, and I was turning to my best friend and be like, have you seen this bit of fucking desert? Have you seen that mountain? Have you seen this? And like, they grew up in that kind of area, so they were telling me about it and feeding into it, and it was lovely. But it's the type of thing where I was just like, it was really nice that I knew my friend could like, I don't know why I'm saying my friend Winter, you know them. It was so nice that I could tell Winter, like, so often anyway, they just pick up on how I'm feeling, and I don't feel like I necessarily have to put that much like outward anything into it for them to do that. But I feel like that was one of the times that they could just really see how like overwhelmingly joyful I was, and how I was just like, this is so cool, this is the best thing ever, I'm so happy right now, you know? It was just really fucking cool. But a lot of the time I don't feel like I'm able to put it across like that, you know? A lot of the times, like, I frankly like almost fucking blacked out. It was like the opposite of dissociation in like a really good way, where I was so excited and so like overwhelmed in a good way getting to see the desert, and like just, I never ever thought I'd have this type of experience. You know, it's the kind of thing you see on TV and something. I was there and living it, and it was awesome. So it was such this like overwhelming sense of joy that I didn't have a moment to be like, oh no, I'm flapping my hands a bit, I'm probably talking too loud, I'm asking too many questions, there's this and there's this and there's this and there's this. You know, I didn't have the time or like the space in my head to get anxious about it or to think about it or to like be like, oh shit, I don't know how to react. Because I just reacted because it was so in the moment. I was like, oh my God. But then there were other things that we did, like walking down Santa Monica Pier, like going to the last bookstore, like going to Universal and Disney and things like that, where like, I wasn't the most excited for Disney because like, fuck the mouse. But you know, like, I'm still a person. I'm still excited to go to places and see new things. It's one of my best friend's favourite things. So I was still like somewhat excited, you know? And especially when we were actually doing the things, even like, I had moments where I was a bit overwhelmed, I needed some quiet, and like, you know, I'm still autistic, but in the moments that I was really happy and excited and glad to be there and really feeling those like big autistic joy moments, like I have videos of some of those moments that my friends took, like they're posted on my channel, and it's like, I'm smiling, like I don't look like I don't want to be there, you know, like it's not like that. But like, I remember in the moment feeling like I was tearing up and like my fucking heart was bursting and like I was the most happy and excited and joyful I'd ever been. And in the videos I'm just like, cool. You know, and it's like, this wasn't like some intentional choice of like, better play it off and act cool. It's just, if I'm not like super in the moment with something that I wasn't expecting, because I just didn't think about the fact that we'd be flying over desert and I would see it, you know, I was just like, it'll be cities and stuff. I did not realise how like open a lot of America is, frankly. But you know, like when it was things where like I've got the plan, I know what I'm expecting, I'm not in the moment in the same way, and I can't show my joy in the same way. And it's, you know, it's sort of like the balance of like, I need to know so that I don't have the meltdown, so that I don't have the anxiety, so that I don't have this like overwhelming amount of negative emotions. But I never know which way it's going to go. And if I didn't have the plan sometimes, I probably would be more excited and be able to like show more of my excitement and my joy and like actually like, you know, stim naturally and things like that. But I also like, the times that that doesn't happen, it's an absolute fucking disaster. So I'd rather plan for the disaster than hope that it goes well. But it does also mean that like, I don't feel like I've had one of those just like unabashed autistic joy moments around people in a public setting over something that like feels genuinely like an event since I was a kid, you know? Like the times that I get that like happy and excited are when I'm watching things on my own. Yeah, and that's what I started talking about in the video and said that I really liked. And talking about the bigger experiences does like, I'm definitely doing it to myself, but like I know that the societal thing is that like, yeah, of course you're excited to see the desert and the Grand Canyon and go to a 7-Eleven, of course you are. They're things you should be excited about. On the other side, you probably don't need to start tearing up because Keeley Hawes, Gillian Anderson and Billie Piper just walked into a room together. But also, that was fucking awesome and I loved that too, and it made me really happy too. So I do try to just appreciate and enjoy and let them happen when I have like my little autistic joy moments. But there is also so often a whole bunch of stuff going on in my brain of like, I don't know how to react. I don't know if I'm reacting properly. People would think it's really lame for me to be this excited about this thing or this happy about this thing. You know, there's a whole bunch to it that often dampens it. And that sucks, and I'm trying not to let that happen. And that was the video. It's been really nice to like talk about and reflect on some of the happy moments, to be fair, but I am so freaking tired. And I'm managing to film this a whole day before it's posted so I can even have a nap before I have to edit this. Wouldn't that be nice? So yeah, I'm back to posting on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Sundays. I am trying to stick to it. I do enjoy sticking to it. I did feel really bad that I stopped sticking to it. You know, like as much as I am like, I hope this content helps people, it also like, making it is such a huge part of my routine and my purpose in life at this point, you know, like it's a whole thing. So yeah, if you want to see more from me, I do post 3 times a week, so you can subscribe, you can like the video, do any of that stuff if you want to. You can also follow me over on TikTok and Instagram, where I'm intending to start posting a bit more regularly again as well. It's just really fucking hard, you know, actually making content and then actually posting it, and especially like I want to be happy with all of my content, you know? It doesn't need to be the most like perfect polished bit of shit in the world, but I do need to be happy with it. So we'll see how all that goes. If you want to help me out financially, you can. I have Ko-fi and Patreon. I don't like mentioning it because it does feel a bit like I'm just begging for money, but at least on Patreon you do get videos early as a rule. I was about to say I didn't post the last one, but I did. It was probably at the same time it came on YouTube. But I have also like posted one bit of writing that I did on there, and I think I would like to post more bits like that as and when I have the motivation and energy to actually do them. But yeah, they're all there. You can if you want to. There is no pressure, and I'm gonna go now. So whoever you are and wherever you are, I hope you're having a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, month, year. And right before I'm gonna go, I'm gonna show you Otis because he looks so cute right now. This little man. Oh, okay, bye.